Good morning everyone. Today I am going to tell you about chapter 1 from your English course book, and the chapter name is When I Fail, written and narrated by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Through this chapter, I just want to convey a message that failure can be a motivation to success. Good morning everyone. Today I am going to tell you about chapter 1 from your English course book. The chapter name is When I Fail, written and narrated by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. This chapter deals with Dr. APJ's life experience, his failures as well as his achievements in life. According to Dr. APJ, failure is an important part of life. In fact, it is necessary for one to recognize one's true potential. If you fail once, you should not lose heart. Rather, you should observe and contemplate over your mistakes that led to the failure and try to overcome them in your next attempt. Life is a long journey, and in the course of life and career, one has to face many ups and downs. But we should not be disheartened. Rather, we should take our failure as an inspiration and move ahead. Dr. Awul Pakir Jainulabdin Abdul Kalam was born in 1931 in Rameshwaram, Tamil Nadu. He specialized in aeronautical engineering from Madras Institute of Technology. He was one of the most distinguished scientists of India. Dr. Kalam has been awarded the Padma Bhushan, the Padma Vibhushan, and also India's highest civilian award, the Bharat Ratna. Dr. Kalam became the 11th President of India on 25th July 2002. In this chapter, Abdul Kalam describes the lessons of his life that he had learned through his varied life experiences. He had contributed a lot in the field of science and technology. But with all this success, he had also experienced bitter failures which made him disappointed and shattered. But he did not give up. Rather, he learned life's toughest lessons. His failures proved an inspiration for him, as these experiences helped him to recognize his inner strength and made him learn to cope up with difficulties of life. One of the earliest such episodes from his life happened when he was a student of aeronautics at Madras Institute of Technology. His design teacher there was Professor Srinivasan, who was also the head of the institute. Once they were placed in teams of 4 students each, and their team had to design a low-level attack aircraft. APJ was in charge of coming up with the aerodynamic design. They worked very hard for weeks. His teammates were designing all the other components like propulsion, that is the action of driving or pushing forward, structure, control, and instrumentation. All teammates worked very hard on that project. They were all keen to impress their professor with their project. After a few days, Professor Srinivasan asked to see the design APJ had created. When he showed that design to his professor, his eyebrows crinkled with disappointment because he did not expect someone of Abdul Kalam's caliber and talent to produce a design that he had created. The professor expected Kalam to redo the entire design and wanted a flawless configuration drawing to be submitted by Monday evening. The professor also threatened to stop Kalam's scholarship if he was not able to do so. He said he threatened him to revoke his scholarship if he was not able to just complete his design in time. He was even more shocked after listening all this because scholarship was the only way he could afford to be in the college. Without it, he would have to stop his studies, his own ambitions, the dreams of his parents, his sister, and his father Jalaluddin flashed before his eyes and seemed to recede to a distance. He got to work right away. Determined to prove himself, he skipped dinner and remained at the drawing board throughout the night. He used to take short breaks to eat and freshen up and went back to work again. By Sunday evening, his work was nearly complete. He was ready with an elegant, neat design that he was proud of. When he was giving the final touches to his design, he sensed a presence of someone in his room. It was the professor. He did not know how long he had been standing there watching Abdul Kalam. He came forward and he looked critically at his work for a long time. Then he straightened up and smiled. To his amazement or surprise, the professor hugged him affectionately, patting him on his back. The professor said, "I knew I was putting you under immense pressure when I rejected your work the other day. I set an impossible deadline, yet you have met it with work that I can only call outstanding. As your teacher, I had to push you to your limits so that you could recognize your own true potential." Actually, these motivating words of his teacher made him forget all his pains and sorrows, which he tolerated while making that project. After 2 days of extreme dejection, those words were pleasing to his ears and revived his confidence and self-belief.